Wonderful. I think we're all aligned in this form. And here's something that I'm going to have a snippet already formed for you. And that's looking like this. Most of you is something, most of you are saying what is on the screen. I just wanted to pick bigger umbrellas and bigger circles, and everything falls under it. Say, for example, collaborative learning. We would want them to learn from their interaction, the first-hand interaction with materials, people, and spaces. Children interact, students interact with the space they are in, the people or adults they are dealing with, and their peers, right? And that's how they are constructing their own knowledge and experience about the world. Diverse mode and ways. When we talk about multimodal learning, when we talk about differentiated instruction, we talked about different styles of learning. It sort of doesn't mean that if a child we identify, I think there's this sort of thing where we want to just fixate, oh, this is a visual learner, this is an auditory learner, I am kinesthetic. I think it's unfair for us to define it in early stages for students, because yet they are to be exploring a lot of through their senses, through their experiences, through their one-on-one interaction with things around them. So to be able to be justifying their learning experience, we ensure that our instructions are diverse. It is inclusive. It is including all styles of learning, some or the other, because not everyone learns the same way, like we all know. So how do we form our instructions so that it is relevant to like whole group as a whole, as well as it's personalized and differentiated? And this is very much possible in curriculum design. If you're curriculum developers in the group, you might know how we scaffold it, how we make it beginning, middle, advanced, how we ensure, and all the educators that she needs or anyone needs to be able to, or he or she wants from the data, is to understand who are my learners, what is their profile like, and then create instruction for the classroom. And trust me, I mean, as much as we get deeper into education space, we know it's not just about teaching for a couple of hours, it's so much more. And on that note, I really want to appreciate each one putting that effort and making our industry and our world better for each child. Next is active participation, making choices. How many of us face difficulty in making decisions? Like, I remember after you are an adult, you end up going to your PDs and different courses where you train you how to make decisions, how to talk about yourself, how to take care of yourself, and all of that we are doing now after like having so much done it like in the first go. How about we have our children to already be in that reflective mode by asking questions, by reflecting why they did what they did, what is the impact of that action, and what choices are around me, and which one am I picking and why? Even if I give an example, I don't know how many are from preschool or the early ed spaces, but if you could look at your earlier classroom, how many choices are we giving? It's not about giving choices like, oh, you have like 10, 15 materials to play with, which one you want to play. That could be a huge choice. But if as a leader of the classroom or educator, we think about, how do I make the choices intentional, which is aligned with the development goal that I have and the interest of the child, then I would reduce down to the choice to be like 4. And in that, I might ask my student or learner, what would you like to start your day with? So that gives a child opportunity to see. And then my job would be to check on what made you take that decision. Why did you choose that? What you want to, the child might say anything, but that's for us to take data, to collect their interests, their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions about that particular item, so that when you are delivering the content, you're teaching a new thing to them or experience to them, you'll be using that to engage them. Knowing child's interest and needs is for the engagement. When you have a problem with the engagement in the class, look at, are we in alignment with their needs and engagement interest at this moment? How much questions are we allowing our students to ask? Now, there was an interesting survey made. I would like to quote that, and I'll share more about it later on when we send the handout. There'll be a link in it. The survey was made to a couple of educators. How many questions do you ask to your students in the class? So they said about 15, 20 in a go. And how many children ask or students ask? They said they ask about 7, 8, 10. Some don't speak, some do, whatever. After the actual data came out of that survey, it was found that the teacher was asking 50 questions in a class and the students were not even close to 10. What is that tells me? Like, I'm not this is not a generalized way, but just an approach and a mindset that now those of you are into the progressive setup, you're moving ahead, you're thinking about it, and which is wonderful. What do you need for the learners is right up there. So how much are we giving them a chance to ask question, to clear their doubts, to ask any question, not being judged, being open about it, reflecting on the learning every day, talking about, okay, I want to. Children learn the most when they're reflecting. They could retain the information they got. There are different ways we can do that with them. But if we do not have a reflection space or recall time, it really reduces the amount of learning engagement that the child might have the next day. So how much are we able to give that time in the reflection piece is something that we can look at. Experiences, 100 and 200%, we all may align. How much students are learning through their own experiences rather than telling them what to do.